Hey, I'm Caleb with Allied Siding and Roofing. Today we're going to look at a couple different things. I'm going to show you how to do some house wrap on your wall. We're down to the bare bones, so I want to show you once you pull everything off, what it's going to look like to put everything back on. So we'll start with the house wrap. Then we're going to do some fascia aluminum. We're going to do some soffit underneath this eave here. We'll do some aluminum on a rake over here. And then I'll show you how to install the roof flashing as well as this little kick-out guy, so that your water always comes away from your wall. I'm going to explain how to install vinyl soffit and then my aluminum fascia, and with it is going to be some J-Channel. First I'm going to take some measurements and I'm going to get exactly the size I need for my vinyl soffit, cut it, and then we'll install it. So here we are. We got 8.5 inches over here, 8.5 inches over here. Now this is called my fascia, and behind it is my substructure, so it's my sub fascia. And depending on the style of soffit you have, especially if it's an older house, you may have sort of a flimsy soffit. In this case, I'm going to just use nails because I built my soffit really solid. But if an old house has maybe a weaker soffit, maybe not as strong or sturdy, you can use screws, and that will save you a heck of a lot of time. Because when you're trying to nail with a bouncy soffit, it's very difficult. You really don't want to deal with that. First off, we're going to take our J-channel. I got my first measurement off the house to the back side of that fascia is 8.5, and then I'm going to make this all one piece just to simplify it for myself. And then the second measurement I'm going to get is to the corner here, or I could come all the way through to the back side of this fascia here. So I'm actually just going to come to the back side of the other fascia. You can do either or, but just to keep everything consistent, I'm going to follow all the way to the back side of this gable fascia here, which I have 38 inches. I'll give myself a little bit of play, so I'll probably go something like 8 1/4 and then 37 3/4. That gives me a 1/4 inch of play on either side, so I'm not going to fight the J trying to get it in there. I got to figure out my orientation, so I want my J-channel to go this way, and then I'm going to bend it, and I'm going to curl it this way. 8 1/4. And then some of this stuff, you can either draw your measurement around with your square, or after you get good enough at it, you can just eyeball it. And typically I'm going to cut a little bit of a nice edge on this, just so they lay over each other. And mark that out right here, where that J-channel edge meets that J-channel edge, just so it'll sit nicer on it. When I bent that over, I noticed my cut is a little bit shy. I probably need to extend it out here so that these J-channels will lay over each other nicely. Because right now, you see this little edge right here is bumping into this edge, and so it's making this J-channel protrude a little bit. This J-channel right here is going to tuck right over that J-channel, and that will close out nicely. So I went 7 3/4. Now from this corner out, I'm going to go 37 3/4. So I'll measure that. Now because it's going to bump into the back side of my fascia here, I'm going to cut it. I'm just going to eyeball it again, because after I do my aluminum fascia, it's going to cover over that cut edge anyways. So alright, so I'm going to install this J-channel I just cut for you, and I'm going to use roofing nails. You can use, there's multiple different fasteners you can use, most commonly roofing nails. Sometimes we use screws, like I mentioned, for a weaker soffit. It's more flimsy, it's more bouncy, it's really hard to nail into that. I'm going to go with an 1.5 to 2 inch nail. Anything more than that, you're going to spend forever nailing. Anything shorter than that, you're going to hit your fingers every time you try and put a nail in. So, and with any sort of vinyl product, you're really not supposed to nail this all the way tight. Okay, my J-channel is installed. I'll probably throw one more nail in there. You typically want to go about 16 inches on center with your nails, and you don't want to go any more than that. And you can go less than that, obviously, but. That's pretty good. Now with vinyl soffit, you want to cut a little shorter than your width, so like I said, 8 1/4. That gives us a little bit of play. This is a small cut, so there's not going to be a lot of shrinking and growing. And then I'm just going to nail it off. Now when I do nail it, I'm not going to nail it tight. I do leave my nails a little bit loose, just so that it has a little bit of play to move around if it needs to. Also, one thing that I do when I'm running is I check my square off either my J-channel or my fascia. Just to make sure when I get to the end, I'm not going to be crooked, and it's not going to be on reveals at the end. And when you're doing this, you want to pull it. Just pull it till it clicks in. It doesn't have to be over pulled or under pulled. Just basically once it clicks in, wherever it sits, that's sufficient. One nail on either side. So when I get to the end here, I'm going to get my measurement from the end of this tab here to the back side of my fascia. I'm going to cut it really close to that length. So basically from this edge right here, it's going to clip in, and that's where I'm going to measure from. Or I'll just measure from the end and add a little thickness right there. So back side of the fascia to my tab, I have roughly 7.5. So I'll measure on the face, 7.5. So with this, there's no way to actually, all it's holding is the clip in, and sometimes that clip will fail, like things will wiggle around, they'll wiggle loose. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually cut a few teeth into this so as to hold. So you just clip that tongue, and then you add, like with your hands, you just push a little extra bend into there, just so it grabs a little bit tighter than a normal click would, because it's not going to be nailed by anything else. I mean, you're going to have fascia holding it in place, but fascia and aluminum holding it in place, just to make it extra secure. So there you go, we're locked in place. Now we're going to start our fascia, our aluminum on our eave and our rake, and then we'll even go a little around our bird box here. Hey, thanks for watching. I'm Caleb with Allied Siding and Roofing once again. I hope you liked it. If you did, subscribe or hit the link below on the bell notification. Thanks for watching.